Howdy, I'm Matt.
And I'm Dave.
And welcome to today's Mastermind. The topic for today's Mastermind for you is, don't forget Boxing Day and the entire month of January. Go in, Dave.
Yeah. Always a fun one. Always a fun one, this one. It's often easily forgot about in the hype of Black Friday and then Christmas. I mean, Matt will tell you firsthand how he really did totally forget about January back in the day. And that's a missed opportunity for a lot of you guys who are selling online. And yeah, that's what we are here to highlight to you today. With that said, I think it's worth Matt just bringing a few people up to date with the UnderstandingE site as it currently stands. We were just chatting about this offline a minute ago. If you go to understandinge.com and you see a warning that says, you know, the site is insecure or not protected, yes, we know about this. It's been on our radar for the past few days. We've been trying to get it sorted. The site is protected, right? There is an SSL certificate on there. It's just, for whatever reason, Chrome doesn't like it anymore.
Yeah, it's a EAV one as well, so it's one of the posh ones. But it's to do with the issues which Symantec had a while ago, and it's actually raised other issues. So to give you actually a heads up, the site will be being moved to AWS over the next couple of days because of the slow reaction time and my busyness. Trying to do something else is not good. I'm sure you know this. Sorry, we're going way off topic from today's Mastermind.
Yeah, no, I think
straight away. Yeah. And sorry for the scrap a minute ago. I could hear myself in the background because I had the video running in the background. Nice save there, Dave. So yeah, I wasn't that impressed with the support over the issue, and it's now been left for me to do when I've been busy doing other things. So that's not really helpful. So the time which I would invest in doing that, it would take me exactly the same amount of time to do something else. So I'll do something else and save us some money at the same time. So we will be swapping hosting providers in the next 48 hours or so. One of the nice things is that we do get a SSL certificate with the domain name as well as part of that. So all relatively straightforward to do. It would take this evening and tomorrow to sort out, and a little bit longer for the DNS to catch up. But in the meantime, of course, our apologies. It's not really acceptable. So as such, we're going to move. And it's something which I've wanted to do for over a year now. So it's just been a kick in a different direction. So apologies for that.
I mean, I guess really it's perfect time. You should all be far too busy selling and shipping today for you to be too worried about what's going on our site. So it's perfect time for us to move it around and chop things up a bit. And but for anyone who does experience any issues, it's good to keep you in the loop as to why that's happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So
have you just hit mute, Matt?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Am I muted now? Yeah.
No, you're fine now.
Yeah, apologies. Yes, absolutely, Dave, in short. So with that said, let's get back into today's main topic, which was don't forget Boxing Day, don't forget January. Now, the main point which we're trying to make here is that people are predisposed or pre-programmed to buy in January sales. Okay, it doesn't matter. In fact, you would have to be somebody who lives in the Antarctic to not be aware of January sales. It happens all across the globe. For the January sales, it is just a tradition now, and it's a well-ingrained one, of course, which marketers and retail stores and customers are all fully aware of. And that's the thing is that we're going to be having a sale. It's always been said you make your money when you buy your products in the first place. So we're not suggesting that you lose money by any stretch of the imagination. What we're merely pointing out is that January is an entire month, like for the good first 3 weeks, it can be bigger, both in gross revenue and also in the number of transactions compared to December. Okay, now that may sound daft, but you got to remember the bulk of the transactions for Christmas are done in November. Hence why Black Friday, Cyber Monday always end up in being in November. And by the second week of December, things tend to really tailor off. Okay, now I do know that those of you who are using eBay and Amazon, that does go, it can go right up to the gate, especially if you've got items in FBA. I've done it here. Excuse me. I've done it here for many years. It's been bought items where I've bought them on purpose just to see if Amazon deliver them on Christmas Eve. 1 year I did it with a Nintendo Wii. I've done it with other products as well, just to see if they turn up, and they do, invariably do. We've not had a disappointment yet. But the point being, coming back to our point, January and Boxing Day, you know what it is. You're sat there on Christmas Day in the afternoon because you're so stuffed and put in your face, and you got the Boxing Day sales going on for every single company, and it's always for some families it's a family tradition to go out on Boxing Day and all go to the shops. Okay, but it's not actually necessarily that. It's that the whole month of January, and it comes back to I found this one out the hard way. I'm sure many of you have heard the story before, which is that I had the biggest November and December worth of sales and transactions ever. It was absolutely horrific. We had a brilliant time. And I was just looking forward to the break at Christmas because it had been so busy. And we pretty much wound down for the end of December, so the week after Christmas. And the first 3 weeks of January, I felt like I needed a break, to be honest. And I took 4 weeks off, which was, to be honest, deserved. I'd worked the same for you. You'd probably worked really, really hard for the previous 12 months, okay, or 11 months. Anyway, that was the thing. I took January off, and it was like the end of January, and I thought I'll just ring up a couple of the suppliers. And they're like, Matt, where have you been? You've just missed like competitor X, competitor Y. They've sold more within the last 3 weeks than they sold before Christmas, kind of thing. And I learned that one out the hard way, which is I probably lost, I would say, 40 grand's worth of gross revenue, probably something more than that, easily. It just by not being around in those couple of weeks and just putting off that, instead of just quitting in December and then taking a couple of weeks off, I should have just carried on a couple more weeks and then taken off a bit of chunk of February and things like that. And I would have got the revenue in the door. And that's just one mistake. I'll just never repeat. So if you can learn from that story, which is never forget January, is that is classed as happy days, very much classed as happy days, because it's so easily done. You get to Christmas, you're so knackered, and the next thing you know, you've taken some time off. But actually, January is just a massive time of the year. Dave, accessories are memory cards. If again, I was lucky because I was in computer peripherals, so there's always a spike for those after Christmas. Anyway, it doesn't matter if it's laptops or desktops. There's always a plethora of accessories which are required afterwards. But that's the thing is that some parents are smart, like will buy the batteries or buy the accessories before Christmas, but then it's cases, it's sometimes things which are personal. Laptop case, for example. I know for myself, I went through, I must have looked at 40 different cases before I decided on that one, and it was very much a personal choice, again, for the laptop which we're using here in front of us right now. And that's the thing, it's just the accessories are typically very big in January. With the level of personalization and options which are out there, they get left, and they're kind of an afterthought, aren't they, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think no matter what industry you are in, there is still money to be made in January and Boxing Day for sure. In fact, on a much smaller scale, I heard about this exact thing this past weekend. A family friend sells online. He sells cushions and cushion covers, and he sells cross-border, so his seasonality is pretty good. And he made the comment that actually his Black Friday and the run-up to Black Friday were really, really quiet. He had, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday itself, super quiet, hardly any sales. He wasn't doing any Black Friday deals himself. And then Saturday, Sunday, ping, 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 sales coming in left, right, and center. And that ultimately is largely down to the fact that customers are now aware of Black Friday. And if they're wanting to make a purchase, they will hang on. They will wait and see if there is a deal worth to be had. Turns out in cushion covers industry, there's not really much people doing Black Friday deals. So they just held off to see if anything popped up. Nothing did. Saturday, Sunday, boom, 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 boom. All the sales came in.
Do you know what? That is just so funny because that is exactly what's happening with me right now. I need a new 4K camera. Okay, I know exactly which one I want, and I've been holding off through Black Friday and Cyber Monday to see if it was going to go on any form of deal anywhere. And no, it is exactly the same deal, which is ironically on the Jessup's website with £100 cashback. And I've noticed that again, you can tell how long I've been keeping an eye on this because for the last month they've been playing with the prices, and it always ends up at £550, whether it's £50 cash back or £100 cash back, allowing them the Jessups to play with the price. But that's been the only company which has actually played with the price on that specific model.
What manufacturer is that?
Sorry, Panasonic.
Panasonic very strict on pricing. They will have their hands tied as to what they can sell that for. I imagine.
Yeah. Hence the Panasonic cashback. We want your contact.
Buy more Panasonic stuff.
Which is. You're right. The cushion covers might sound a bit daft, but it's also, and the point which I want to make is also exactly the same for technology products as well.
And that's exactly the thing. So again, we use this on a much smaller scale of Black Friday. Christmas is just a whole other ballgame. How many people are waiting to see if they're going to get that gift or that present that they've been hoping for? Doesn't turn up. Boom. Boxing Day. Prices drop. Right. Let me have a look, see if I can get that thing that I really wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And again, also, Dave, just think for I'm just thinking about my my nephew and my two nieces. As my sister said, to be honest, they're better off with money because they won't get money from us. So give them money and they'll be able to buy whatever they want, which is, in my head, code for let's give them an Amazon voucher because they can get it next day. And it's almost instant gratification. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's this instant gratification world that we live in now, where Amazon is so good at what they do. And although that does bring me on to what you said last week about them making a mistake, and then literally the next day it came out that there'd been a data breach at Amazon, which they've clearly been trying to hush up a little bit. It's not really got too far and wide, but anyway, back on topic. Yeah, you cursed them on that one, but yeah, it's this weird thing where if you take your foot off the pedal after Christmas, on the run up to Christmas, because it does go quiet, usually around 18th to 20th, it'll start easing off as people, realize. Especially, I'm not sure when the weekends fall. I think it's 23rd and 22nd, or 24th and 23rd.
I'll just have a look now.
Yeah, so I think you've got the Sunday before Christmas. I think Christmas is Monday, Tuesday this year, maybe, or Tuesday, Wednesday. But yeah, so you have weekends to tell, and that's usually when things quieten down, because obviously, again, if there's weather thrown into the mix and everything else, it can delay. So most people, it quietens down around the sort of 15th, 16th, 17th of December.
Yeah, so Dave, what we've got Christmas Ent starting on, it's going to be a fantastic one, really long weekend. You got Saturday, Sunday, and then you got Christmas on the 24th, the Monday.
Is that Christmas Eve on the Monday?
Oh, Christmas Eve on the Monday. Oh, God, that's going to be a busy day then.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
For it. I always remember this going back to I used to work for Xerox many moons ago, and on a practical point of view, I used to love working Christmas Eve because everybody was always in a jolly mood. No work ever got done on a Christmas Eve, and also the week following Christmas as well, which is just one of those odd weeks where so many people just take the time off. And that's the thing you've got to keep in the back of your head. There are an awful lot of people on holiday, and but thanks to these mobile purchasing devices, there's also quite a large number of transactions to be taken over that time period as well. So yeah, it's going to be a curious one this year, Dave. Saturday deliveries for the 22nd, and of course Mondays as well. That is going to be a fun one.
Deliver Sunday, so we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
But that's the point. Is obviously they'll have that lull in December, and then boom. Don't forget, that week between Boxing Day and New Year. There's a good opportunity to make some money, and then well into the January as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, don't be afraid to obviously update your site and include January sale banners. Obviously, if there are some items which you want to get rid of, that might be a perfect time to do so. But it's also a great time to tempt people as well with those extra items too. And again, it's true. You make your money when you buy the product, not necessarily when you make the sale. So just make sure is that if you are getting rid of something for a reason, it is for a reason. Okay. And number two is that don't forget to generate the items which are in the sale. Could be part of a bundle package, for example. There are ways of increasing the total order value for the items being purchased by customers by doing multiple items together, buy 2 items and get X. And you notice I just said X because X could be discount, X could be a product which may have more perceived value than a discount. Use your imagination and what you can do here. January sale may imply to you, but as in a reduction in price. But don't forget, you can think out of the box and still provide value back to a customer. Remember, value also has many different meanings too. Is that it can have focus on providing value back to a customer, and it doesn't necessarily need to be money out of your back pocket. It can be adapted in many different ways. Use your imagination on how to leverage that in short. Just combine products, which, yeah, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing as well. You don't want to miss out on the opportunity to really turn either slow-moving stock or stock which you maybe didn't sell on the run up to Christmas. You don't want to miss the opportunity to turn that into cash, so therefore you can rebuy come January, February for spring, summer, or whatever seasonality that you work with. Especially if you do have products which maybe don't particularly age well. You don't want cash tied up in slow-moving products or products which you're then going to have to wait until another 10 months before you can start really seeing sales again.
Yeah,
obviously that does depend on what product ranges you sell. James, see you in the chat again. If you've got like Christmassy stencils and hobby stuff, it's a market which is only going to be live for you once a year. So again, not liquidation, but get it moving, turn it into cash, and get some new stock in. Don't miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah, people will buy. I know with Christmas cards, people will buy huge chunks of Christmas cards for the next year following. But on a serious point, that if maybe James, for example, is that once Christmas and the January sales period is over, we got Valentine's is the next period. Then you've got Easter as well,
Mother's Day,
yeah, Father's Day, and then you're and then you're planning into the next parts as well. James says we sell Christmas stuff in June. I can't believe it.
I've been in America and seen year-round Christmas shops. So I've been in America in May and seen a Christmas shop full of trees and baubles and stuff. So yeah, maybe that's not a great example, but surely the market would be a little bit more hungry for it around this time of the year.
Indeed. So in the interest of time, we're going to cut this one off short again, because we think we've conveyed the topic which we wanted to cover with you, which was just very simply, don't forget January and Boxing Day. Keep in the back of mind, and to paraphrase what we said earlier, which was that we are, as consumers, are programmed to expect January sales. Okay, which January sales start in November the 26th, Boxing Day, and then onwards. Okay, now with knowing that, as marketers, we need to take advantage of that. So if you do have any email marketing lists which you can leverage, don't forget to prepare them beforehand. in the preparation. So when you've got Thursday, Friday, for example, before Christmas, is that if you think things have just gone off a cliff and that's it, then maybe there's time just to stoke the fire, to remind them that there's going to be a January sale on the 26th. Yeah, 26th or 27th. Again, we're dealing with online here, so my mind wandered into the real world then. But of course, that 26th onwards, move the stuff across. Again, you can do that quickly. If you do all the preparation work now, is that it should be just a case of just switching the banners over, maybe when you're sat there on the sofa on Christmas afternoon. Swap, done. Do all the preparation work in advance, so you're not having to spend any of your Christmas Day or Boxing Day creating stuff. It should all be there, ready to go. Okay. So Dave, that's the main topic for today. It was really don't forget January. You heard that story about myself. It was very costly. I took the January off because I was just exhausted. I should have just had a little bit more stamina for a couple more weeks, and it would have been a monstrous year then. It would have been a really, really good year that year. But never made that mistake again. Put it that way.
No, it's good to live and learn, and also pass the lessons on where possible. I don't feel guilty at all wrapping up quickly today, because whilst a lot of people call this Giving Tuesday for some reason, I always called it Pick, Pack and Dispatch Tuesday, because after Cyber Monday, hopefully you guys are seriously busy right now and we shouldn't be taking up too much of your time.
Indeed.
So yeah, I hope you've had a great weekend with Black Friday and the week previous, and Cyber Monday as well. And yeah, hopefully you're smashing it and really on the way to having a record-breaking Q4 and Christmas.
Indeed. Dave, just before we go, what's our topic for next week?
Oh, you... I knew it. I had it open before.
Yeah. I've got it here.
Oh, we're doing some product research for the new year. Some new product ideas for the new year.
Fantastic. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
always a fun one. Never come across a category product type, which is there's never been like money not being left on the table when it comes to research, and especially on eBay, and also to Amazon to a degree as well. So looking forward to that. That'll be next week, same time. So that'll be 3 p.m. UK time next Tuesday. And on that note, from myself, Matt.
And from me, Dave.
Cheerios.
We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.